In this lecture, we will learn what unit tests are and how to write unit tests in Python. In a unit testing framework, there are several components. The test fixture is the preparation needed to perform one or more tests and any associated cleanup actions. A test case is the individual unit of testing. A test suite is a collection of test cases used to aggregate test results that should be executed together. A test runner executes the tests and shows the outcomes to the user. In order to begin writing unit tests, we need to import the unit test module at the top of our code. The next step is to create a class that will hold the methods for our unit test. Let's use the class keyword and create a class named stringTest, and then in parentheses we need to put unittest.testCase. Then we will define a function named testIsLower that takes in one parameter, the self parameter. The goal of this function is to test if Python's isLower function works. There will be two test cases, one that checks if a lowercase string is identified as such, and another check to make sure that an uppercase string is not identified as a lowercase string. Inside of our function we will reference self and use the unit test module's assert_true function to test if hello world in lowercase letters returns true from the isLower method. Then we will type another line, which will be self.assertFalse, with hello world passed in with uppercase letters, and then the isLower method called on it. The final step of our unit test is to have an if statement, if __name___ equals the string __main__. Inside of the if statement, we will call unittest.main. When we run the code, you will notice that our unit test worked, since OK was printed out. Notice that the time it took to run our test was also printed. The unit test module has several useful functions that we can use in our unit test. Here is a list of some of the functions that I find most useful when coding unit tests. Assert_true and assert_false are useful to check if a function returns true or false, as we just demonstrated with the example we looked at. Assert_equal and assert_not_equal are used to check if two values are equal or not equal. Assert_is and assert_is_not are useful to check if a value is or is not something. Assert_is_none and assert_is_not_none are used to check if something does or does not evaluate to none. Assert_in and assert_not_in lets us check if a value is in or is not in a collection respectively. Assert_is_instance and assert_is_not_instance lets us check if something is or is not an instance of a particular class. Assert_raises lets us check if a piece of code raises an exception. There are some other useful functions we have access to, like assert_raises_regex, assert_warns, assert_warns_regex, assert_logs, assert_greater, and assert_less. Unit tests are an important tool that every developer should be comfortable working with.